Hey folks, welcome back to the channel. This is Chris with Daily. Happy New Year to you, first of all. Today we got Stagurday, and today's is it's not any different, but it's a much older knife, and it's a little rough around the edges, so it needs a cleanup. But I want to show it to you, so stick around and check it out. Okay, here's today's knife. This I got on an eBay auction for 30 bucks. And it said that the wood handles had a chip out of it, which this handle does have a chip out of it. And this is a Kabar. It is what I believe is a jumbo jack. Jumbo regular jack. We're in the this book here. Now the length on this knife is about 4 1/8. It's right at 4 1/8. So, you know, a lot like the 52.99.5 is 4 1/8. These are about the same size knives. Now I was, looking this up, like I thought I knew what I saw, and I did see what I saw, what I thought I saw, which is, Kabar did not make a wood handle jumbo regular jack. They did make a Stag, and in mint condition 375, and this is most definitely Stag that someone mistook for being a wood handle because it's all discolored and maybe they didn't quite know what they had. So I lucked out, and the blade on this guy, plenty of snap, is in really pretty good shape. I mean, this was probably a fatter spear or whatnot, little tiny bit of a belly starting, but for the most part, really cool knife. And we've got the Kabar stamp there, hard to see because it's a little dark, but then on the secondary, because the company is not called Kabar, the company is called Union Cut New York. Okay, Union Cut Co. is the name of the company that made Kabar. And if you look in here at the stampings, because Kabar did eventually become the name of Union Cut. Union Cut was dropped. You can see Kabar is on there. Kabar started being used by Union Cut around 1923. And there's some stories, some folk tales about it being some hunter or something with a kill a bear thing. I've done some other research, and it was just a marketing ploy for what I can find. And that story is a folk tale, what it sounds like. But anyhow, I have a lot of Union knives, Kabar Union Cut knives. I have a small collection growing, and I will do a more in-depth breakdown of the company and history of the company when I do all of the knives together as like a Kabar Union Cut Co. Story. But on this knife here, what we've got is they had several tang stamps. This started in Titty Out, Pennsylvania. So we've got Union Razor Company, Titty Out, Pennsylvania. Super rare stamp, 1902 to 1909. Union Cutlery Co., 1909 to 1911. Union Cut Co., Titty Out, 1909, 1911. Union inside a North American Shield, 1911 to 1920s. I had one of those. I sent it back because the knife was just too rough. Union Cut Co., Olean, New York, 1911 to 1951. Union Cut Co., 1911 to 1951. Kabar, usually paired with Union Cut marking, which is what this is. because we've got the Union Cutco here and the Kabar here, and we've got the Kabar on the shield. That was 1923 to 1951. So this is definitely a pre 1951 knife. So probably somewhere in, in that time period. I'm not going to guess. It looks to have nickel silver bolsters. I don't know what that does to the date. I don't know. Anyhow, that's what we've got here. Very, very cool old knife that is in, I don't want to tear this all down and make a single blade out of it. I think I would rather try and just keep this knife, like more of a restoration job as opposed to any kind of modification job. So I think I'm just going to patch this guy with some epoxy. I may just leave it clear like I've done on a few in the past, I don't think, to me, that doesn't look that bad. This is part of my collection, not something I'm trying to sell or anything. And then clean this guy up really well. And depending on what this bone does, maybe we toast it a little bit. There's not a lot of definition on this side. Maybe a couple little places that can be toasted and sanded down, and we'll clean this blade up. And so that's what we're gonna do. That's gonna be this project. So hang out and let's see if we can make something cool out of this. Does look like maybe there's a little line there, right? But anyway, other than that, very, very cool old heavy duty knife. No half stops on the K-bars from any that I have. I had a Union razor and I sent it back because it was heavily cleaned and possibly fraudulent, and it had half stops, which would have been an earlier knife, but the case has half stops, right? K-bars don't. No K-bars I have half stops. Get at me if you've got a K-bar that has a half stop. Anyway, okay, stick around. We're gonna clean this up. So here's the knife. It shined up very, very nice. The epoxy is just, it did not, I don't know, like something, I've been using 5-minute epoxy on the last couple, And I don't think the 5-minute epoxy, or I got the mixture wrong a little bit or something, but it just isn't as clear as on the last couple of knives. I don't know if I would attempt to redo it or not, because the longer form epoxy that takes a while to dry, it's much harder to work with, but I think it just dries much better and clearer. But anyhow, so this thing shined up. If you look, the bone got, or the stag got a little bit lighter, but it didn't get, but like it just has this like rich old honey vibe with it, and the way that the bolsters and stuff shined up, this side's very rich and yellow, just like old age stag. Like, I don't know, there's something about this one that just kind of, it's just begging me to not burn it, especially because obviously there's epoxy on there, and if I heat that up too much, I'm afraid it'll melt. But this thing is just, I just think it's so beautiful. Like, a lot of people like to leave stuff, not shined up. Collectors do. But like, there's something about the way that the shined up bolsters on this guy, are almost like frame that old piece of stag. Like, it like, like a picture frame would frame a piece of art. For some reason, like, it just gives me that impression. Like, it's like, the bolsters are nice and clean, but then the stag is framed to show you that, like, this knife has so much age and personality to it. Blades came, pretty good. I didn't sand on them too much. I just kind of freshened them up. Just the wire, what the wire wheel would do. But they came real nice and clean, and I just, man, this thing is just so cool. Let's see. Yeah, there's just something kind of special about, and I don't have good light right now. Try and take some beauty shots of it, but it's a little bit, it's like real gray and rainy right now, so I don't have good sunlight. Hopefully I get some sun here in a little bit. But just tons of personality on this big old guy. Really, really cool knife. Kind of lucky to have found this, and I have another stag, older Kabar, I'll be working on pretty soon. The badge is still, proudly showing. I didn't get, sand that away or anything, but man, there's just like a lot of personality going on in that thing, and I love it. So tell me what you guys think. I think, if I were to bet, because of the nickel liners, I would have to bet, wartime 40s. So that's what I'll call it, is a, because we know it's pre-51, because of the Olean tang stamp on there, the Olean Union Cutco tang stamp on there. But really, really neat knife, and hope you guys enjoyed this Stagurday. Tell me what you think.